All right, this is week 6. It's going by. It's going by really fast. Um, can't believe we're here, but we're here in week 6, and with the meeting that is scheduled for tonight, we'll see how things progress. But all right, so this to me has to be by far the least exciting matchup that I can look at. You have one team that's just on a 4-game losing streak. They've been hurt by the injury bug. But at the same token, you can't get hit with receiver injury bug if you go zero RB and the receivers that you draft don't pan out. Now, that's what happens with one team. The other team, I'm absolutely amazed that they have a winning record without Christian McCaffrey. I am shocked beyond belief because I really thought, I honestly, I like full disclosure, I thought this team was going to go way down the drain because there wasn't a lot of depth, and they've been very, very fortunate that they've won 2 out of the last 3 games. So I got to give respect to where it's due. In my personal opinion, that's David. And the best part about this run where David is what he's going through right now, best part about the run is that the Panthers are winning, which means they have more of an incentive now to bring Christian McCaffrey back. Now, me personally, I don't think he's going to be 100% healthy. But if you're getting Christian McCaffrey back in your lineup, it's a big boost considering that this team does not have a lot of depth. And I know that's the theme here. I keep repeating myself on the depth, which is why I didn't like this, because it was literally Mahomes, Hopkins, and coin flips everywhere else. And it's okay to have 2 coin flips on a roster. More than that, man, I mean, I don't even think it's been the strength of schedule. I understand you had myself, Andre, but you also beat Coffey. So I would say that it's an average schedule. It wasn't that much of a cakewalk, although record-wise might show that. Anyway, it's time to get into the matchup. Yahoo has this projected 112 to 105 Allen. When you have Allen projected as the winner, it means that the other team's either dealing with some shit or that they're probably one of the worst teams in the league. I'm going to go to the first option. So Ben Roethlisberger, Patrick Mahomes, slam dunk Patrick Mahomes. I'm not going to get into that at all. Ben Roethlisberger is fine. Let me just double check his numbers because Pittsburgh's been kind of he's actually been kind of very flory. He's been, a mid-tier quarterback one. Like he's been in the 20s. I don't think we'll ever see 50-point Ben, but pay for what you have, man. That's pretty good. But Patrick Mahomes getting an extra week to practice against the Buffalo Bills after a phenomenal game plan by John Gruden and the Vegas Raiders, excuse me. I expect them to rebound huge in this one. My only concern with Kansas City sometimes when I watch them, and this is not for fantasy purposes, but it's more so is that they know that they're good and their I'm not going to say lack of preparation, but they, running on offense, it's almost like they run a random play and Mahomes says to himself, yeah, we'll just call this play. Somebody get open, I'll find you. They can't have that mentality going throughout the year, but I think they'll start to pick that up. It's almost like backyard football on the offensive play calls with them until they need that actual play call. And you saw that against the Oakland Raiders, man. I thought once Carr threw that pick, it was a wrap, and props to the Vegas Raiders. I keep saying Oakland because they still, to me, are Oakland. But I got to go with Mahomes. I'm not going to say it's a landslide victory, but it'll be a comfortable lead for David. I'll say he'll beat Ben by at least 15 points. Robbie Anderson, Terry McLaurin, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk. Going back with the Arizona stack, and this is another game where you can rely on them. And next week, you might get lucky 3 weeks in a row, David, you lucky bastard, because the Jets stack kind of paid off. I mean, you'll take the 10 from Kirk. This is now a Dallas Cowboys matchup, which is very favorable, and then they get Seattle the next week. So your plan is working out for you, so congrats. Robbie Anderson, what do we know? I'll wave the white flag. He is officially the alpha in the Carolina Panthers offense, but it doesn't mean that DJ Moore is a beta by any means. I think both of them are alphas, but I want to talk about this matchup for Robbie Anderson. This matchup to me, if he gets it done here, dude, this guy's a wide receiver one. Not that the Bears are a tough matchup, but this matchup looks kind of weird. It's like I could see it going one of either 2 ways. Robbie doesn't do anything or Robbie just continues to produce. Something tells me that one of the Panthers receivers can go off while the other one just kind of gets left for dead. The Bears are a team that likes to run a lot of zone coverage, which would dictate more of the matchup for DJ Moore. Not necessarily Robbie Anderson, but they can still get him underneath in the zone coverage. Moore is much better against the zone coverage, finding the open spaces and making plays happen on broken coverage. And Robbie can do that too, but you're seeing Robbie's plays come more so against man than it is necessarily DJ Moore. Robbie Anderson is being treated as the alpha. He is moving all over the field, more so at DJ Moore. The target share is now up from Robbie Anderson at 28%, DJ Moore 22%, Mike Davis around that 15% range. So there's literally only three guys you want from this passing attack or offense in general. So their routes are up there, they're neck and neck. But clearly, they are treating him as the alpha. And this is the one defense, though, that is not, I think, the Chargers game was a game where they got up, and I throw that game out the window because they literally just got up and pounded the ball the whole game. This game, however, is one of those matchups where it could be close, back and forth. I want to hammer the under on this one. I think this is a gross game. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points scored. I can see this being like a 17-13 type of game. So I don't know if we're going to get a lot of explosive plays out of Robbie in this one, but he has a sustained floor. So I like that. Terry McLaurin on your end, going against the New York Giants. If Alex Smith is the quarterback, I am very, very concerned. This guy, he wasn't planning to be the starter. Kyle Allen is there. I'm still a little concerned. James Bradbury is officially one of the best shutdown corners. He was very, very good in Carolina, and he's picking up right where he left off in New York. If you look at James Bradbury's numbers against number one wide receivers, Deontay Johnson did not have a very good game. He was technically treated as the one. I'm not slot receivers because he doesn't shadow. Shut down Allen Robinson. He said good night, and that was it for him. Brandon Ayuk was technically the one. You don't count that game because he's not a real number one wide receiver. When we go into week 4, who did they play in week 4? Was that the Rams? Rams week 4, Robert Woods, only 6 targets, didn't do much in that one. Rams are another game you don't want to consider because they move everybody around the field. So with the motions that are being in place, you can't really play man-to-man coverage or else it's going to be a broken play as you saw in the Washington game. And then last week, Amari Cooper, nowhere to be found. I understand Andy Dalton came in, but where was he in the first half? I am very concerned for Terry McLaurin in this matchup. And it's not necessarily his skill set because he's been great. I don't think he has any chemistry with any of these quarterbacks yet. And then you got the Arizona Cardinals stack with DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk. My honest main concern with these two going in this matchup is if Andy Dalton can't move the ball, Arizona, is this a time where they say, okay, we're up, let's see what Kenyon Drake can do and see if we can get him going? That would be my only concern. However, Kyler's been a little sloppy with the ball at times, and Dallas still might be okay. My only concern in this one, coming in, these are the two fastest paced teams. So you're going to love a lot of fantasy scoring in this one. I fully expect, and I think everybody's going to know this, with Andy Dalton coming in, this is going to be slowed down significantly, and it might be a Zeke-centric offense. Shout out to Booger McFarland. But that would be my only concern going into this matchup is if Arizona is to get up, and I honestly don't think they will. I know, people are probably betting Arizona money line or whatever. There are times even when they get up, they still throw the ball. So I am, by any means, not concerned at all with this matchup getting out of hand. I think it's more if Dallas controls the ball the whole game because they lost Chandler Jones. Dallas might have their way and slowly kill the clock. Best case scenario for the Arizona Cardinals stack to pay off for David is that they get up to a considerable lead. And I think that could happen. I think Hopkins at least scores a touchdown. Kirk has potential to score, but you're seeing with the rise of Andy Isabella, his snaps are starting to go up. They're kind of rotating guys in and out, which is frustrating because I like both these guys a lot. I think we just need to say goodbye, Larry Fitzgerald, and make Isabella a permanent slot receiver. But Cliff Kingsbury is kind of being very thick-headed with that. So that's why I'm holding on to Isabella. And I do think once that change of the guard happens, because they don't have a tight end, better things will come. Now I have to pick a winner. I got to go with Hopkins and Kirk. Not necessarily I'm huge on Kirk, but Hopkins is in a tremendous matchup. So I'll go on that side with that one. Mike Davis. It's a shame that he might not be a league winner with them winning and Christian McCaffrey somewhat coming back. Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick, or oh god, David Johnson. I take I don't like Gibson, but I'll take the Mike Davis side of things. The guy's getting treated he's getting treated like Christian McCaffrey. He's playing the role and he's like 88% of what McCaffrey would get you. This is unbelievable, man. I know you picked him up before the injury. I don't know your thought process there, and I don't want to boost your ego because this is the type of shit that gets to your head and you think that you outsmarted everybody, but you're still 1-4. So I can't take a victory, or you can't take a victory lap yet on that because you're not winning any games. But yeah, I mean, this is slam dunk, clear slam dunk Allen on the running back department. Logan Thomas, Evan Ingram, a.k.a. I'm going to punt tight end. Give me Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram is starting to look okay. He's not looking great. He's getting the target share. He's going to go against Washington, which is another favorable matchup, so I'll take the tight end matchup there in a landslide too. Logan Thomas is just going to be droppable at this point. Galladay and DeAndre Swift taking on Preston Williams and Adam Humphries. Who the hell do you have out that you have to start these bums? Oh, I see what's happening here. Okay. Adam Humphries off the COVID list. Take it for what it is. This offense is running very efficiently, and I think with the emergence of A.J. Brown back, I don't feel comfortable, and it's a shame to say it, I don't feel comfortable starting any passing attack guy other than named Jonnu Smith and A.J. Brown. Adam Humphries could probably score 1 touchdown in a month, but target share is just not going to be there. I understand you want to get the passing pieces to Tennessee because it's not Derrick Henry season quite yet, but I'm not big on this matchup at all. Even if it is the Houston Texans, still very big pass from me. Preston Williams against the New York Jets had a good game, really good game against the San Francisco 49ers. I think they're starting to treat his role now as a deep threat specialist, and it has to do with Parker is still the target hog in this offense, but with him not being able to stretch the field due to the hamstring, but he's going to gut it out. Like Parker is literally running jump ball fades, slants, and comeback routes. That's literally all he's doing, and it's because he's not 100% healthy, so they have to have somebody to stretch the field. Why not try Preston Williams? It is the New York Jets. This could be a game where he scores a touchdown, but I'm going to be, if you want to call it bias, it's fine. But this is Devontae Parker against Adam Gase, so I think he'll get a touchdown first, and then maybe Preston Williams afterwards. And then that leads me to Kenny Galladay and DeAndre Swift, 2 Lions going to be going up against each other. Look, I don't know what Matthew Patricia is going to do in this backfield. I am not very happy about this backfield. I think it should have been the Adrian Peterson signing just threw a wrench into everything. I think Swift at this point would have been so good, so flory at this point. But you can't trust the damn guy, man. The snap shares are up, so you like to see that. But he is not doing anything else. And it's hard to predict how this is going to go. He's getting the targets, kind of. But I love Galladay against Jacksonville. Now he's getting 2 full weeks to heal up. This is a smash spot for Kenny Galladay. So because of that, I'm going to lean more towards the Allen side of things. Washington football defense against the New York Giants has turnover potential. Oh, you got both defenses going head-to-head. I actually like both these defenses equally. I think they're both good for turnover-prone situations. So I think that matchup in its own right could definitely cancel each other out. I can't necessarily say that Daniel Jones would throw more touch. It doesn't matter. There's going to be a lot of turnovers. There's going to be a lot of sacks. Giants defense is kind of underrated, if you want to say that. I don't know. They haven't looked that terrible, though. They've actually stepped up to the occasion on many times. All right. Now, if I have to call a winner, I think Mahomes and Hopkins obviously will start with there. That looks good, but everything else on this roster to me is very suspect. David Johnson, how many touches did this guy get last week and still look like poop? He touched it over 20 times and still couldn't do anything. The guy's just awful. Like, just take the L on this. Like, it's a shame, man. I just didn't understand falling in the trap. If you watched highlights of him last year, the guy's body can't hold up. It's the same thing with Todd Gurley. The only difference is Todd Gurley is actually scoring touchdowns, but every time I watch Gurley, it just looks like his leg is about to fall off. So I don't know. I'm not big. I'm not literally on the David side of things. There's a reason now I see why it's projected at 105. Allen, I'm just gonna say this right now, man. I like David's first top half guys more than I like your other ones, and this is gonna be a tough matchup. But I don't think you've broken 100 points in a while. Man, oh man, this is gonna be tough. David's getting lucky, so I'll ride the hot streak on that. I'll say David, God, 91 to like, where are we going this? Like 85? I have no idea. I can't call a winner, but I do feel like Hopkins and Mahomes will be money enough to get him that victory. So let me revise that score a little bit because I do like on the Allen side, Galladay, Mike Davis, but that's about it. Let's go 97-89. Um Looking at this matchup, I think the first initial thing that I can flat out say, oh my God, I just realized who your starters are, Alex. I feel for you, man. Holy crap. Um, Alex has gotten hit with the injury bug, and so has Harsh. And it's hard to rebound from that. When I look at the Vintage Ones team, after week one, people were very hyped, myself included. He hasn't been able to win since, well, he got his victory last week. So it's been a while since he had that victory, and it's because, he can't find guys to fill in. It's tough out here, man. And, his team is starting to round up. He's getting Devontae Adams back this week. He got A.J. Brown, who looked really good. I don't want to use the word phenomenal because I don't want to overreact on anything, but he looked good. And in a matchup which was very beatable, you like to see some production there because it shows that, he's getting to where he needs to be. So I think this is the Harsh that we were expecting. It's the Harsh I hope, and I use the word hope, we get moving forward. Josh Allen versus Stafford. Stafford is in a phenomenal matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Josh Allen is in a decent spot against Kansas City. Both teams like to run up the pace a little bit. Josh Allen had his worst game finally, only 20 points. I'm going to say Josh Allen is the guy to own here. I know Stafford's been fine, but I'll go with the rushing floor ability of Josh Allen, even in a good matchup where Stafford's at. Cooper, Slayton, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams. Slayton looked good in that matchup, but I do think that was matchup dependent. Washington is still not a solid match. It's a good matchup for receivers, is what I meant to say. I have no idea what the target share is going to be like with Andy Dalton and Amari Cooper. My guess would be that CeeDee Lamb gets the most targets, but Cooper and Gallup might get the most valuable targets. My favorite combination of all time, not of all time, but this year, best combination possible that you could have done in a draft was Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams, and Harsh has that. They are both healthy. Tyreek Hill has a phenomenal floor. We have yet to see an explosive game out of him. Give me D Adams and Tyreek Hill by a landslide victory. James Robinson, Alexander Madison, LaMichael Pirine, and Frank Gore. This is where I apologize, man. You're starting Jets backs, bro. Good luck. Good luck, buddy. I mean, this is clearly, Madison is the play this week. James Robinson, I love the guy. One thing I want to be very cautious about, he fumbled the ball and then Chris Thompson came in. Do we start to see, I don't want to say it's a split, but his work might get scaled back a little bit. That is my only concern with Robinson. We might start seeing more Chris Thompson if the game starts to get out of hand and they could be in catch-up mode. So Robinson might be a guy where he's going to get his catches, and that's great. But if the game gets out of hand, he might get scaled back a little bit in certain drives of the field. Minor concern here, just because they don't have he's not a good draft capital type of guy that they spent on, even though he's looked phenomenal. It's one thing to keep in mind in the back of your mind. By the way, yeah, Harsh, you win this battle easily. Burton or Zach Ertz? Jesus. Zach Ertz has looked abysmal. Give me Trey Burton. Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, the rookie hype guys who are in good matchups, actually. T. Higgins in garbage time catch-up mode, or whatever you want to call it. Jefferson is in a great matchup. A.J. Brown, Jonathan Taylor, phenomenal matchups here, so I got to go there. Jonathan Taylor I don't like, but this is a game where he bounces back. I heard Wilkins got hurt again or something like that on practice. Harsh, please confirm if that's correct. I'm not a big Jonathan Taylor. Like this offense is really slow, but he's going to get the bulk of the work. A.J. Brown. Brown looks pretty solid after his game. And Brown had two really good games against Houston and against Bradley Roby last year. I expect that to continue as long as he's healthy. He has not pulled up with any injuries. Let me just double check. It says he didn't practice Thursday, which means that it's probably precautionary. I know these late practice reports and whatnot. So we always have to, oh my God, dude, they are on a short rest. I just realized. Tuesday. So they've only had like 3 practice days this week. Jesus. Chicago and Tampa. I don't like either of these matchups at all. I think these defenses might get you guys each like 5 points. Not much to talk about with this matchup. I think due to the injury bug on Alex, he's hurting. I feel for him. A lot of people have gotten hit with this injury bug and have not climbed out of it yet. Harsh is starting to get his team back healthy. And if they can stay healthy, I think we will see solid production. This might be an outlier game for Harsh because he is going to have Alexander Madison for a week. And because of that, I think this is probably the blowout of the week. I'm going to say Harsh 148 to Alex. Sorry, buddy, but probably like 82. So when I look at this matchup, it's interesting because the records would indicate that this is a total mismatch. It's a 1-4 team versus a 4-1 team. But then when I look at the point total, this is definitely closer than expected. It's a lot closer, and I think these teams are very, very similar. One team, obviously, I think everybody knows it. I think a lot of people are putting the overrated tag on B Magic because he traded away a lot of his depth. However, Chase Claypool emerges. And if you watched my draft recap, no hindsight included, I loved your CeeDee Lamb pick, and I loved your Claypool pick, and I am shocked that you held on to Chase Claypool for this long. So you did that, and that was smart because I would have scooped up Claypool immediately because I was very, very high on him. Not necessarily that I thought he was going to be amazing. It was just that he only had to overtake James Washington, and with Deontay Johnson now being kind of dinged up a bit, it was an easy guy to buy for me. Lamar Jackson, who's looked awful throwing the ball, versus Aaron Rodgers. Give me Aaron Rodgers. Mike Evans and Landry versus CeeDee Lamb and Claypool. Mike Evans is a little dinged up himself. I don't really like the matchup that well. Don't really like the Landry matchup, so I might have to go. CeeDee Lamb might be really good with Dalton. He was fine already. Claypool, if they decide to keep using him, and I think after that game, the coaches are going to say, we need this guy to get on the field more. My only concern with Chase Claypool is this. He's doing all of his production on fades and streaks. That's about it. So what this means is, was this matchup specific? In other words, it was the Eagles. And we know that one side of Philadelphia, the Jalen Mills side, is the easiest side that you can attack going deep down the field. That's my concern with the Chase Claypool game, is that maybe this was matchup dependent and maybe it was because Deontay Johnson got hurt. But I think after seeing 4 touchdowns, I think his snaps are going to go up. His routes, he's going to be a situational player if everybody is healthy. That's my only minor concern because Juju is still there, although I am not a big Juju fan. Deontay is still the guy to own. It's just a matter of, is he going to be a full-time player now? My answer is no, but I trust the coaching staff to use him the correct way. I'll go your side, by the way. Burkhead and Singletary, no thank you. Give me Elliott and Jones. Hayden Hurst, no. Jimmy Graham, yeah, I'll take Jimmy Graham. Brandon Ayuk and the $50 man, Travis Fulgham, Damiere Byrd, and Cole Beasley. This is an interesting one. I'm going to go the Patrick side. I don't like Byrd. I don't like Beasley. Buffalo D, no thank you. San Francisco D, no thank you. We've got an intriguing matchup now. But I'm sorry about this. It's kind of easy on my part. Patrick, you've actually, with all the injuries that you've had, you've put up a lot of points somehow. I don't know how. And you're doing this without your main guy, Alvin Kamara. There's too many injuries for me to go here. So be Magic. You might rebound after your first loss, buddy. I think Rodgers has a great game against Tampa. I think Lamb has a great game. Claypool has a great game. So your team is back where it started in the beginning. And what I mean by that, be Magic, is I think. And you have Keelan Allen. Your team might be looking up. Actually, your team could be very, very sneaky, Mr. Magic. Maybe you have some magic. I don't know. I don't know where left because now you got Keenan Allen on the bench, Le'Veon Bell because of buys. I'm talking myself into this. I don't know if you're treating anybody, but yeah, I'll probably hit you up for something. Nice job, buddy. I'll say that you win this matchup. Well, this is another classic matchup, I guess, if you want to call it that. This is a long-time rivalry in the making. This is a Super Bowl matchup of last year. And things are going to get interesting. Yahoo has this projected 110 to 121. Fully expected Johnny to be the favorite. No disrespect there. It's going to be very, very, very interesting how this outcome comes about. You got one team that is riding a 2-game winning streak in myself. Johnny, I believe. Are you on 4 games? Holy crap, hold on. You are on 4 games because you lost to B Magic. Wow. If it's not for Paul, this team might be the hottest team. Let's recap a little bit. I don't know what happened to Krier's team last week, but you laid the hammer down on that one. Good job. You did get lucky against Coffey with the Calvin Ridley goose egg, but hey, you'll take it. Things might be looking up for you. Or will they? I don't know. Let's double check. Let's see how this matchup progresses. We've got a fun quarterback matchup to kick things off with Kyler Murray and Deshaun Watson. Tennessee's defense is not to be frightened anything about. Kyler Murray gets the Dallas Cowboys defense. Johnny, as reading this, I know Murray is the one guy you're very, very nervous about. If there's anybody you're nervous about on my team for going off, it's probably Kyler Murray because of the matchup, and I fully understand that. But you got Deshaun Watson in a solid matchup, and you know how I feel about Deshaun. You know, I think that he's amazing. You know, one of his biggest fans. This is a matchup where he should be okay and enough. So I know Murray uses his legs a little bit more, and I know he's got the better matchup. But I honestly still think this comes out. Murray, I'll give the slight advantage to maybe, but it might be something like a 35-29 point. Either way, I could see it because the one thing I'll guarantee with Watson is that they'll be trailing from behind, which means he's going to be running, which means that he's going to have to throw the ball. Murray, I have no idea. I don't know what this Dallas offense looks like with Andy Dalton. Okay. Adam Thielen, Julian Edelman, DJ Moore, Robert Woods. Okay. Cat's out of the bag. All right. Adam Thielen's fine. I did not expect a guy age 30 who predominantly dominated in the slot to be fine with going on the outside and still win the battles very easily. He's done that. So I'll take the L. Julian Edelman against Denver could be interesting. My only concern with the guys like Julian Edelman and the Patriots passing attack is this could be a ground and pound type of performance. Denver's defense has been awful. They're hurt all over the field. So the matchup should be fine, but I don't know how much they rely on. I think in games, and I'm not counting the Kansas City game because Cam Newton wasn't there, but the only game sample size we have where Patriots were trailing, they threw the ball a ton. Game scripts where the Patriots have been up, they haven't relied too much on those big plays. DJ Moore, Robert Woods. Okay, well, one guy is consistently being the floor guy that we thought he was, and the other guy has not been the consistent floor guy that we thought he was. DJ Moore broke a 3-game skid by finding the end zone and getting back to double-digit points. So if you're a DJ Moore owner, such as myself, that's the good news. Bad news is Robbie Anderson's target share is going up, although he's not far behind. This matchup, like I said, I don't like this matchup at all for either of the Carolina guys because I think last week you knew both of them would be fine. This week, I don't know. DJ Moore's a guy who likes to rely on yards after the catch because that's the type of guy he is. A lot of people compare him to like a better Golden Tate. The Chicago defense against the zone, like they play zone coverage, which would dictate more to a DJ Moore game. But I hammer the under on this. I do not like this game at all. This could be a very ugly game. If I wouldn't be surprised if Anderson and Moore both have like 8 or 9 points each or like 10. This matchup I'm not a big fan of for either of these guys. Robert Woods. San Francisco is hurt. Robert Woods has continually produced. I expect San Francisco to be fine. Like they've gotten embarrassed now twice. They are now on primetime television. Kyle Shanahan. I expect this game to be a back and forth game. I do not expect this game to get out of hand. The Rams have had their way with a lot of opponents so far. I don't think they're going to have their way the whole game with San Francisco. But I am not an idiot, Johnny. I take you because of Adam Thielen in this glorious matchup that he has against the Atlanta Falcons. This is money. So I give the clear edge to you because I don't know. Woods might be involved because the game might be high scoring. I don't know about DJ Moore. So I'm going Thielen. We're just going to skip over the running backs, and I think you know why. We're going to skip over the tight ends, and I think you know why. There's really not much to talk about. So now we can get to a matchup that looks pretty even. Devontae Parker, Jamison Crowder, John Brown, Jerry Jeudy. I see Beckham is on your bench because of a sickness or some kind. I'm not sure what that's about. John Brown, let me just flat out say this. I like Gabe Davis. Somebody on Twitter, though, did say that Gabe Davis was better than John Brown. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. That is. Look, I don't even have John Brown, but I don't know what kind of idiot is trying to get attention by saying that. John Brown is phenomenal. John Brown could still be a number one on any other team. This is a shootout type of a game, type atmosphere, type matchup, whatever you want to call it. Brown looks like the guy who is going to be treated as the deep threat if he's healthy in this game. So it's a solid matchup. Jerry Jeudy knows Stephon Gilmore, but I don't know what the hell Bill Belichick game plans because you might even have Drew Lock, who is their best guy. They might just sell out for the run. I don't know. Parker, I'm going to buy the I hate Adam Gase narrative, so I think he might be okay. Jamison Crowder, this is ridiculous. Jamison Crowder is literally the definition of what you hope for garbage time every single week, and it might even continue. Now, this was my only chance of winning was to spend $8 on Miami defense. I need all the help I can get. Literally need all the help I can get with that one. So, as comical as it sounds, I haven't checked the bids yet, but look, desperate times come for desperate measures, ladies and gentlemen, and right now I have to hope that this Miami defense has a outburst of a game. We've seen the Colts D drop 30 points against the Jets. I think the only defense that didn't look phenomenal was Denver, and that's because Denver is missing everybody. The thing I like about Miami is they get Byron Jones back with Xavier Howard. The thing I want to talk about, though, is Johnny has Pittsburgh's D that you did trade for, I believe. Yes, you did. They've been okay. Again, I don't think, last year, I think they were really good because they had to be good. And it was a sense of urgency and determination. Pittsburgh's run defense is amazing. Their pass defense, very, very leaky. They play a lot of zone, and that's Travis Fulgham should not have gone off against that team. That is not saying, wow, this guy's really good. No. Their zones have too many holes in it. It's why Travis Fulgham went off. I'd be very concerned. I honestly am starting to think this is not a defense we have to worry about. If you have a receiver, Joe Hayden is not locked down anymore. He's really fallen off this year. But regardless, they're at home against Baker. Baker's won 4 straight. He's due for a bad game. So yeah, the Miami D could go off. Pittsburgh is easily that talented to go off as well. And let's not forget this, guys. We're also forgetting the fact that when I look at that Pittsburgh or excuse me, the Cleveland offense, no Nick Chubb, which means they can't be very comfortable in their play calls. They have to rely on a lot of Kareem Hunt, a lot more than they want to. This could get very ugly. I'm very nervous about that canceling out the Miami defense. All right, look, bottom line, we got to talk now on who to win. Look, Mostert and Henry have potential where they could combine for 50 each, and if that happens, it's game over. I don't care what you think, because if you look at what happened last week, man, I had 4 people in the 1 o'clock game score a touchdown, and aside from Devontae Parker, the rest of my team was a no-show. No excuses here, because I even do think with Tyler Lockett in this lineup somehow, I have to take out either DJ Moore, Robert Woods, Parker, or Crowder. The only thing I was really hoping for like a cheat code was Justin Jackson and Josh Kelly. I don't have that, but look, give credit to where it's due, man. Mostert, Henry, Mark Andrews, Adam Thielen. I think if you played these guys alone, man, you are probably already at 100 points with your quarterback, which means that everybody else has to just sprinkle in a few. Well, I always say when I do my matchups, how do I win? How does the other person win? Key number one for Johnny has to be your running backs just have to score a touchdown. I don't see Cam Akers doing anything. Chase Edmonds might be okay, but, he's not a guy that's got upside yet. I mean, he's had a high floor, honestly, but I can't make a ridiculous case to say that, man. Mark Andrews scores almost every game. The bottom line is this. The receivers on my end have to have, like, I won't say the game of their lives, because that's like overstating it a little bit. But these guys have to deliver, because there's going to be a lot of slack in the running back department. Murray and the Miami defense, I think, would be the only 2 things where I could say to myself, they're going to be outlier performances, right? So these receivers, man, in solid matchups have to keep doing what they're doing. I like 3 out of 4 of my receivers' matchups. And if they produce, things could get very interesting. But you're asking a lot from me when I don't have a tight end, because I think Schultz is going to be droppable after this week. I don't think he was obviously a product of garbage time and Dax, so take it for what it's worth. The score is projected at a 110 to 121. It's gonna be interesting. Do I think that this game is going to be a blowout? It has that potential, absolutely, because these running backs could go off. Do I think that this game could also be close? A lot has to happen if that's going to happen. Guys that I think might be sneaky enough to score and be the guy that when we look back at this matchup Monday morning and say, whoa, I did not expect that. Or John Brown Tuesday morning in his case, I would say John Brown on his side. On my side, the only guy I would say is quote-unquote sneaky would be Cam Akers if his increased workload. But look, he's not going to be the goal line back, and that I can put money on. If he scores a touchdown, I'd be shocked. Yeah. Jay, man, best of luck in this matchup. Best of luck in this matchup, man. Because I'm going to try. I'm going to try. I know I'm down a few guys, but that's no excuse here. We're going to have ourselves a ball game. Whoa, okay, this matchup. Jesus. David Krier, man, you are probably one of the most unlucky teams. It always happens to somebody every year. It's a team that's putting up a lot of points with a losing record. I've been through it. I think Coffey a few years ago went through that as well. You are just a victim of being in the toughest division. It hurts. Krier, I'll try my best to take care of Johnny and avenge the defeat for you. I'll try my best. I need you to do the same with this guy, man, because I'm starting to get a little fed up. I'm not even gonna lie. Um, it's just a matter of time. But I want to tell you a story. Krier, you don't know anything about this because 2 years ago you weren't in the league. You started last year. This is obviously your sophomore year in the league. Which, by the way, thank you for being competitive and being always, responsible with responding to text messages and stuff like that. So I appreciate that. Andre, I'm just sold on this, buddy. Okay. Yes, I know you've talked to everybody and you're asking why do you hate my team. I literally don't like any of your guys. If you want me to be honest and reasonable, the only guys I like on your team, if I want to be nitpicky with it, okay, fine. Ryan Tannehill at quarterback might be okay. Joe Mixon, I don't like. I just think that he's just safe. And I use that in quotation marks. John Smith's proved me wrong. That is the only guy I'm willing to take the L on right now. And Melvin Gordon, really. But I literally don't like a lot of these guys, man. They're just very, very old and washed for the most part, or they're just not very good. I think it's just a matter of time. But what I'm trying to say, and I know I'm on a ramble here, Andre, I am convinced the fantasy gods work in mysterious ways. And I say this, and I'll bring it back because last year I thought was a 1 year thing, but it's continuing on to this year. I think the fantasy gods 2 years ago set a path for you to win your first ring because it would have been the best story of all time. It would have been the best Cinderella story of all time, Andre. You were in the division, the best division of all time with me, David, and Coffey. All four of our teams were top 5 in points, but we were just in the worst division. I mean, the best division, obviously. And I think the narrative was, wouldn't it be shocked the one kid who doesn't have a ring take down arguably the 3 best competitors that this league has ever seen? No disrespect, David, or anybody else that's listening to this. I said that, right? It was mapped out for you to do that. That would have been the best Cinderella story. You had the team and you beat me in the semifinals, and you only had to take care of Johnny was mapped out because it was like, who's going to get their ring first? But Johnny thought Cam Newton could throw a football, started him, and then lost to David, and then David got ring number 2. I am convinced the gods had a map planned out for you to meet Johnny if he did the right thing and put in Josh Allen, which he did not because I knew he wasn't going to be conservative or whatever the hell you want to call it. And I think the fantasy gods feel sorry for you. And now they're putting on this weird thing. Andre, look, buddy. I know Todd Gurley's been good for fantasy, but you can't tell me that when you watch him run, he looks healthy. This guy looks like his leg's about to fall off anytime he runs. Andre, I'm convinced. I am convinced the fantasy gods are helping you. They feel bad, and you have this fantasy god help me plan, not that you asked for it, until I get my ring. Because you made it to the semifinals last year with a team that was hurt and not very good. Your team has looked decent the last few weeks, I'll give you that, but I'm not trusting it. All right, done rambling. Let's go. Cam Newton versus Ryan Tannehill. Give me Tannehill. Julio Jones. Ugh, no, not doing this game again. Give me Allen Robinson. Juju sucks, though. I'm sorry. Krier. Juju, I don't like him at all. Allen Robinson is fine. I think he'll outperform. I don't know if Julio plays. He'll definitely outperform T.Y. Hilton. Positive news, if you want me to not to be such an asshole, Andre, T.Y. Hilton is running more routes because he's the only one that knows what to do. He's just not very effective anymore. Dalvin Cook is probably not going to play Krier. I am not going to tell you who to put in at your running back spot because that would be Bush League. So I actually have to go, oh God, this is gross. I actually have to go Joe Mixon, Todd Gurley. George Kittle or Jonnu. Jonnu's in a great matchup. George Kittle is in a great matchup. I think it's going to be close, but I'll take Georgie Kittle. David Montgomery in a really good matchup. Ronald Jones or Brandon Cooks versus Ronald Jones, Kenyon Drake. The answer is no on Kenyon Drake. Ronald Jones, solid matchup. I think him and Montgomery come close. Brandon Cooks going off last week. Does he go off this week? No. LA Rams versus San Fran or Carolina's an interesting. Yo, that's a very good pickup. but I'll go the Rams. I'll go the Rams. I think I'll go that route. I don't know what Melvin Gordon's status is. I'm assuming you might swap him in for somebody if he plays. Well, no, Dalvin Cook really puts a tough decision for Krier, but you've got a lot of bench pieces that could easily fill in for a week. Like, you have really good matchups on the bench. Not going to lie there, man. Not going to lie there. Well, does Andre find another victory, buddy? Does Andre find another victory? Look, you're not going to get it done with the receivers. We know that. Joe Mixon against Indy is okay. Todd Gurley keeps scoring, and this is another good matchup. So as bad as he looks, he's finding the end zone. I'm not going to deny it. Montgomery is a big wild card, but when I look at the firepower on Krier, Ronald Jones is in a good matchup. George Kittle is in a good matchup. Allen Robinson is in a good matchup, and Cam Newton should be okay. Boy, this is tough. The Dalvin Cook injury, per se, makes me want to lead Andre, but then I look at who his receivers are, and without Julio Jones, of all people, man, it is hard to trust. The Ryan Tannehill-Jonnu combo is for real, though. I don't think that would ever be a stack that somebody would recommend this year, but fuck. Man, I am struggling to pick because, like, I feel like there's holes on both teams. It's just which one do I trust more? Upset alert, I gotta go to Andre. Okay, boys. Okay, boys. Coffee, I need a double take for a second. I can't think if you're 3-2 or 2-3. What are you? Oh, you are 2-3. Damn. There's a lot of good losing, and there's a lot of good teams with a losing record, man. That's crazy. Well, if somebody's going to take down Paul, it's going to be you based on the bye week. Blues. I don't know who's starting in the chat that Paul is a new heel now. That is complete bullshit. Heel Coffee is funny because it's like, do you think he is or not? It's whether you believe in conspiracy theories. Paul is in no way, shape, or form a heel. I don't know. I'm not doing that, man. Definitely not doing that. I'm lounging on the bed right now, just kind of going through this matchup. Jesus, Andy Dalton, Daniel Jones, man. You telling me you guys doing these two guys, man? Give me Dalton, and that's freaking gross that I'm saying this. Yeah, give me Dalton. Deontay dealing with a back issue. If Deontay is ruled out, man, sipping coffee is going to be sipping coffee through this, man. Will Fuller and Calvin Ridley. Whew. Look at that combo, Coffee. Let's look at this Ridley game log. 29, 26, 14, 0, 17. Whoa. Coffee, let me take a look at this Will Fuller game log. 15, 0, 13, 19, 13. Whew. This is a Flory Will Fuller? Must have been the dreads. Deontay Johnson, if he plays, is going to be solid for you, Paul. Cooper Kupp should be the same as he always is. He's fine. Give me Fuller and Ridley by a landslide, though. I'm sorry, Paul. I love that combination. If Julio Jones is back on the field, you can expect another 2-touchdown performance from Ridley. This is a great matchup, and they have to take care of Julio Jones. Miles Sanders and James Conner. Conner's in a decent matchup. Miles Sanders is not. Miles Sanders will get a lot of catches, though, so it'll save Coffee's day. Like, Miles Sanders, give me 12 points for Sanders. Give me, I think this is a big Conner day. I'm going to say 21. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Myles Gaskin. Okay. Edwards-Helaire has not looked amazing, and it's because of the offense he plays in, and now there's Le'Veon Bell rumors, as I'm recording this at least. 19-10, 15-10, 9. This is more so a low-end one. I'm not giving him a running back 2 treatment yet. Speaking of running back twos, this guy Miles Gaskin. Paul, is this guy on the block by any chance? 8, 11, 12, 7, 17. Sounds like a receiver log, but I would have never guessed that just by looking at it. Okay, enough fucking around. Oh boy, this is a tough one. I like the workload guarantee from Coffey, though. I think Gaskin has a good game. Edwards-Helaire should have a good game, too, but let me get the Coffey side of things. Kelsey will beat Hawkinson. Sorry, Coffey. Gallup. Wait, speaking of Kelsey, he's been okay. Gallup, who Coffey is very high on now, Chris Godwin, Stephon Diggs, Philip Lindsay. Yeah, Coffey, I don't know what to think of this Michael Gallup situation. My gut tells me CeeDee Lamb is just going to get everything, and everybody else is going to be sparingly used. Chris Godwin, if he's out there, this is the best matchup you could have because he's not going to be shadowed by Jair Alexander. Steph Diggs against Kansas, it's fine. Philip Lindsay against New England is not good. I don't like that at all, but you're dealing with bye week shit, so I get it. Indy against Cincy, that's a lot of sacks waiting to happen. And Baltimore against Philly, that's a lot of sacks waiting to happen. Okay, I've decided for the match of the week. Biggest cop-out answer that you're not going to like to hear. Paul dealing with an injury, but Coffey will take advantage of the Seahawk-less Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, giving him his first loss of the season. It's a big game for Coffey after losing to David in a game where I don't know how David won yet again. But Coffey, man, you took that L, bro. Paul's team, what does the score look like without the Seahawks guys? Paul's been on a tear, man. Paul, I still think your team puts up a respectable 128. But Coffey, I like a lot of firepower here, buddy. Coffey, I'm going to say 142.